This is the SJ4000 action camera that I've just bought to shoot underwater video.
The camera has an ultra wide angle lens, a small but perfectly usable viewing screen around the back, and it also has some interesting photographic features and controls. There's a high dynamic range mode. You can control white balance, although unfortunately there isn't a full manual white balance setting. And you also have settings for sharpness and exposure control in camera. The box contains a 30-meter rated housing, so install the camera in the housing, leave all the settings on their defaults, add it to my lighting rig, and it's time to head north to Ellerton Park Lake to find out what this little camera can do. Upside, the images are sharp, detailed, bright and punchy. Highlights do tend to blow out quite easily, but that's a common failing of action cams, and this is a good result. Underwater, the pictures are equally sharp and detailed, and if you don't like the colour balance the camera produces, then it's possible to change those quite easily in post-processing. This is also one of those little cameras that seems to be able to see through the water better than the human eye. This video here makes the viz look a lot better than I remember. I mentioned colour balance already. This looks a bit green, a bit yellowy, but in actual fact, if you look for the red paint on the hull of the boat, you can see that it's rendered very accurately. One area this camera is not going to do well at is macro. You need a subject the size of a football to fill the frame. Minimum focus distance, about a foot. Get too close and things start to go blurry. Low light performance though is quite good, especially if you can add a little bit of extra light. And that wide angle lens allows great selfies. Exposure is consistent and well judged. And when the exposure level needs to change, it changes smoothly, accurately and quickly. You can see this particularly in this rollover shot. Backlighting is handled well, although you can see some banding in the plain background in this shot. And silhouettes are very good, with no obvious lens flare. In Ellerton Lake there's this little caravan. Inside the caravan there's usually a big pike. It's not the most photogenic background you're ever going to see, but it allows me to see that the video lights and the specular reflections they produce from the scales of the fish are very well handled by this little camera. It also handles mixed lighting very nicely. Of course, you're going to get better results if the pike is out in the middle of the lake, and especially if you can do a little bit of colour balancing. Here's another example of post-processing. So I've talked about colour balance a couple of times. What about using a filter on this camera? Well, here's the camera white balance. And here's the white balance after adding a magenta filter. It's not a lot different. It's the camera that's delivering the white balance. You're just going to have to change it in post-processing if you don't like it. So far then, I'm very happy with my new little camera. With everything set to auto, it produces decent results. Time now to try out some of the other options in the menu and to see what it can really do.